Joey G here. What's up, everybody? What's going on? And if you like Drake, use a cornball. Let me tell you that. Skinny jean wearing pussy. No, but Drake is corny. I'm not even gonna, talk. I just want to say Drake is very corny. And I'm not saying that because I'm a Weak Mills fan, because I don't like any of that rap today. Although good rap is gone. The only guy I like in hip hop recently is Barry Reese Cassidy, right from Philly, right here in Philly. The man's a genius. The words he says is unbelievable. He just don't kiss ass, and that's why he's not farther ahead in the game. Because lyrically, there is no one touching Cassidy. No one. Not even Eminem. And Eminem's, Tupac's my favorite rapper, but Eminem is like right there too. And no, I'm not a Biggie Smalls fan. No. I mean, I like Biggie shit, but I'm a Tupac guy, and that's it. I'm just going to leave it at that. And all this new shit, Drake, fucking Dick Ross, and Officer Ricky, the biggest fraud of them all. Oh my gosh, that dude is like, he's like a gimmick. He's like he could be in WWE. Rick Ross, he really could. He could probably play the gimmick as like the drug dealer, like Rick Ross. Like, oh my gosh, that dude's such a fraud. He sucks. He's horrible. How could any grown? I remember 50 Cent said this, right? I'm just talking wrestling today, but I'm just going to talk this for a second. I remember 50 Cent said back 15 years ago. He said, "How can a grown man, even a grown teenager man, be a fan of Ja Rule?" And when he said that, I thought to myself, man, that dude is a punk. Ja Rule is a punk. Pussy punk. Oh, by the way, but a dude who thinks that I'm a 40 Glock fan, and because I just said, I left a comment on a show and said, yeah, 40 Glock, get the game where it hurts, straight up. All right, game jumped him. 40 Glock can't go blast him. He can't beat him up, so you get him where it hurts. It ain't snitching, bro. It ain't snitching. It's far from snitching. He's getting them where it hurts. 40 Glock can't go out and roll on them or blast them because they'll get locked up. So what do? You get them where it hurts. That's all. Come on, man. It's a new day. For real, man. And plus the game's corny anyway, man. Come on. He's Magic Mike. Come on, dog. For real. Man, I ain't got to dignify myself to anybody, okay? For real. I ain't no 40 Glock fan. I don't even know any songs he sings. I'm just saying, at least he keeps it real. For real. At least he had Lil Wayne all hemmed up in Compton. For real. They weren't getting out of the car. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not into all that. You know what I'm saying? I just don't like the game. For real. And I just saw the situation, and hey, get them where you can get them. If you can't get them in the street, get them where it hurts. Sue them and get some money. Why not? You know what I'm saying? Do what you got to do. If you were that big and you had that much money, you'd be doing it too, homie. All right. And the wrestling. What's going on in wrestling today is I'm hoping for a good Extreme Rules tomorrow night from Newark, New Jersey, in the Prudential Center. And I don't know what's going to happen. It's just I was watching Extreme Rules from 2009 when CM Punk cashed in the Money in the Bank after Jeff Hardy beat Edge for the world title. 2009 Extreme Rules, and that was great. I mean, just the events anymore are not like how they used to be. Maybe because there's one every month. I mean, what was fucking Payback was 3 weeks ago? 4 weeks ago? Yeah, 4 weeks ago. I mean, remember when there were just 4 pay-per-views? It was just the Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and Survivor Series. I remember when it was just WrestleMania and Survivor Series. You know what I'm saying? Royal Rumble, the first Royal Rumble was on USA. I didn't even, then the next year in '89, it became the first ever Royal Rumble winner, Hacksaw Jim Duggan. And then Big John Studd, and it's not a Royal Rumble thing, I know them all. But anyway, what in wrestling right now is like, where's WWE going? Like, I keep trying to think like next year, what is gonna build in the summer? Like, what is gonna happen? I'm thinking maybe, I know the Shane McMahon, Stephanie McMahon storyline is gonna blow up, and it's gonna be Shane and against Triple H at SummerSlam. I can see that coming. I can see a brand switch, a brand, split coming, because and you know what'll happen? Stephanie and Triple H will have Raw, Shane will have SmackDown. Vince will say everybody's free to jump to every side. I think the WWE title, which Roman has, that'll go back to just the WWE title. We'll put that on SmackDown. They'll bring the big gold belt back, and if they're gonna have it soon, I'm thinking this. I don't know what the next pay-per-view is, But you're gonna have one of the gimmick pay-per-views coming up, gimmick events, either Money in the Bank or Elimination Chamber, and that's where you could have the world title decided. You could have the top 6 contenders in the Elimination Chamber, and they become for the vacant world title. Or you could put it in Money in the Bank and put it up on the ladder and have the 6 top contenders fight for the world title. Because if they do bring back the world title, you have 2 brands, you got to have 2 belts. You can't just have 1 belt. It's too hard if I was the champion, put myself in Roman Reigns' shoes, who's ever the champion. You got to go on both shows. It's just more work. It's better just having 2 belts. I liked it better when it was 2 belts. Because when you won the Royal Rumble, what belt was what belt is he going to go for? Is he going to go for the WWE title? Is he going to go for the world title? Like when The Undertaker won it in 2007. Batista was the world champion. Cena was the WWE champion. Shit, you had Lashley as the ECW champion, but you knew The Undertaker wasn't going to pick him. You know what I mean? But it was like, oh man, either one would be great. He picks Batista, it's going to be great. He picks Cena, it's probably going to be, it's going to draw more, but the Batista match was better. You know what I mean? But we all know Cena next year is going to, that's definitely a definite next year. Cena, Taker, WrestleMania. It was supposed to be this year. I don't know if it's going to be Hell in the Cell or not, but that is a match that is definite for next year. John Cena versus The Undertaker at WrestleMania next year. But just remember that with the 2 belts. It was better. It was just better. It was 2 title matches at every pay-per-view. You know what I mean? And I always liked the world title. I always thought you got the world title and you got the WWE title. The world title, you're champion of the world. But the WWE, you're just champion of the WWE. But let's face it, the WWE title is more important. It is. It's the WWE title. It's the most cherished title in wrestling. The world title is second, but that big gold belt is the second. But the WWE title is the #1 belt in sports entertainment. #1. Ric Flair, when he won the 1992 Royal Rumble. And he had that belt. And the big gold belt was was a bigger belt. And even better than at that time. Better than the WWE. Better looking. It's still better looking, I think, than the WWE title. Ric Flair held up that Eagle WWE title after he won that 1992 Royal Rumble and said, this is the only title in the wrestling world that makes you #1. And you know that was coming straight from his heart. You know what I mean? He said, even though really what he was basically saying, I held that NWA title all through the 80s. But you know what? This is the only title that can truly say I'm #1. And let's remember that Royal Rumble. The last 4 in the ring was Flair, Savage, Hogan, and Sid. So, Sid still. Sid's one of the baddest wrestlers of all time. Hogan and Savage, need I say more? And Flair won. So, that's why Ric Flair's one of the greatest, if not the greatest of all time. You know what I mean? A lot of people trash Flair. I don't like that. But, and that's another thing. Flair getting slapped by Stephanie the other night. Didn't really stand that. It was kind of funny. Flair gets slapped by Stephanie and falls on the ground. That's comical. That's funny. But that's Charlotte. I like the women's division. But where's the women's division going? Dana Brooke I like. I've talked about her. I like her, but she flexes. And I don't like that in a chick who's all muscular. That's just butch. I don't like it. She's sweet, though. She's got great boobs. And she's hot and everything. She's got the attitude, the dirt off the shoulder. But I don't know. It's something with that flexing shit. It's like China. It's like China with blonde. Nah, she ain't. China was huge. But speaking of China, rumor is that she is going to go in the Hall of Fame next year. Oh my gosh, that's a big surprise. But we all know why China's going in the Hall of Fame. And you know what? I'm going to take this time right now to talk about China for a second because I never really talked about it a lot. You know why China didn't go into the Hall of Fame all these years? It's 2016, and will be 2017 next year. Same reason why they didn't let Randy Savage in. You know what I mean? Because Randy Savage was having sex with Stephanie McMahon. Stephanie McMahon has never came out and said that's not happened. Because if you know wrestling, you know that rumor. That Randy Savage banged Stephanie McMahon. Everybody would say, oh, well, he was 40 years old and 41 years old, and she was 17, 18. So what? So I see that every day, bro. I used to see it every day. You know what I mean? So what does that mean? That is no big deal. Bob Holly says it in his book. For a 41-year-old man, he was pretty friendly with a 17-year-old girl. And the thing was, at the time, she was 18 and he was 41 when they had sex. But if she didn't have sex, she would come out and say it. It happened. And that's why Randy Savage never came to the Hall of Fame. That's why when Hogan and all them guys came back, and Savage never really did nothing wrong to Vince. He never got on TV and said, I want to, take Vince out of business and hold up the signs on Nitro how Hogan did. I mean, shit, even X-Pac did it. He held up the sign, Vince fears Bischoff. Raw fears Nitro. I mean, and he took X-Pac. He's one of the first ones he took back. Sean Waltman. I mean, I don't think National Hall ever did it. National Hall did the one thing. Hey, you boys in New York, we got your attitude right here. But WCW was already practically halfway dead by then. And that was November of '99. That was the only time that, and when Kevin Nash dressed up like Vince and was like, hey, Sid, when he did the priority of Vince on, when Russo and Ed Ferraro took over Nitro. Actually, Nitro did start becoming, it looked more like I was at the first Nitro, I've talked about this before. I was at the first Nitro that Russo and Ferraro took over, October of '99. And Jeff Jarrett, who I watched on the WWF pay-per-view the night before, lost to China in a housekeeping match for the IC title, comes out of nowhere, jumps out of the crowd, and smashes Buff over the head with a guitar. I was like, it was just shocking because I'm like, I just watched this dude in Cleveland. Now, the pay-per-view was in Cleveland the night before, No Mercy. It was the night, the infamous Hardy's, the Hardy versus Edge and Christian for the money. The infamous great ladder match, you know what I mean? That actually started all them ladder matches, that night. And then Jeff Jarrett comes out. It was just like, it was surreal. You know what I mean? Things like that are surreal to me because I'm a diehard wrestling fan. You know what I mean? But, like we said, I said we need another product. I don't know what's going to happen in the wrestling world. Rumor has it that Brock Lesnar does want to go back to fighting in the octagon. He didn't leave on his terms. And if you know Brock, he likes to leave on his terms. But I can't see Brock. He's going to at least win the WWE title or the world title if they switch the brands. He's going to win one of them titles one more time before he leaves. There's no doubt about that. Also, another thing I read. John Cena will never win another Royal Rumble. That's in stone. Vince McMahon takes them records very, very seriously. Steve Austin will be the only one who ever won 3 Royal Rumbles, not John Cena. Also, next title John Cena wins, that's it. He'll tie Flair's record, but he's not going to break it. And you can understand why. Back in Flair's day, the title would change maybe every 2 years. Year and a half, a year at least. Cena, shit, the title was changing. I mean, he did hold it one time for a long time. I think, his longest title reign ever, John Cena's was... He beat Edge at Unforgiven 06, and he never lost it. He kept it all the way from September of 06 all the way to October of 07, and Orton injured him. So, he held it for 381 days. Because remember, he told Punk that on Raw, when Punk was going through the 434-day thing. But, it's Joey G, just, talking wrestling. That's all, talking the good old days of wrestling. And go through, everybody talks about the Monday Night Wars, but I'm on a show coming up this week. The WWF versus the NWA Wars. The 80s. I don't know what I'm going to call it, but I'm going to do a nice show about that. I'm also going to do my Kevin Nash Kayfabe DVD review. That was great. Kevin Nash. Kev, he can be a sarcastic dick sometimes, but I love Big Daddy Cool. For real, that's my man. People say he's the lowest WWE champion of all time. I don't care. I always love Big Daddy Cool Diesel, Kevin Nash. Click for life. For real. Click rules. I mean, Sean was a jerk back in the day, but when you're that good, you can be a jerk. For real. I don't know about Justin Incredible. You know what I mean? Altoya Mai, whatever. Like Kevin Nash said. If he was really in the click, will we let him go out there with that jockstrap on his face? I mean, for real. This is Joey G. I'll give my Extreme Rules predictions tomorrow. The only thing I will predict, and I'll tell you right now, the Roman Empire, I believe, will be... Real quick, I want to go on this. The Roman Empire will be tomorrow. It will come in full force tomorrow with Gallows and Anderson joining, and I don't know who the rest of them it's going to be. I'll say that tomorrow in my predictions. But the Roman Empire, the Roman heel turn, will happen tomorrow night at Extreme Rules. I will be back tomorrow to give you Extreme Rules predictions and a couple other things. And I'm going to go on the internet tonight and find out what the next WWE pay-per-view is. I hear a rumor that Hell in a Cell is right here in Philly. If it is, that's great. I wanted to go to Extreme Rules. My brother said we were going to go 3 weeks ago, but we never went. Because, I've been to the Prudential Center. I saw the Flyers play the Devils there. You know what I mean? So I saw the Nets. The Nets are my favorite basketball team. I saw the Nets play there before they moved to Brooklyn. So I've been to the Prudential Center. I wanted to go there. You know what I mean? But this is Joey G. You know what I'm saying? The realist, the real wrestling buff. The guy that knows it all. The future. I'm out. Peace.